Hello, everybody. Hello, we're going to let some people come in. What's up? See if we are live in all the right places. Let's see. See, Roel's in here. Roel, what's up? Debbie from Queensland, what's up? Great to see you. Thank you for being here in the morning. I believe it's Wednesday morning there. Thank you for hanging out. D. Lynn, what's going on? Great to see everybody. Another great show tonight up ahead. Carter, what's going on? Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Tuesday. Pumped to see everybody. If you're new, let us know. Let us know where you're from, where you're at. We got a few people over on Instagram. What's going on? Vita, right, Lulu, what's going on? Great to see you guys. All right. My brother Steve is in the building from Shield Nutraceuticals and Digest Shield. What's going on, man? Great to see you. I'm getting ready to, I take my Digest Shield 30 minutes before my biggest meal, which is going to happen here in about an hour and a half. So I generally take it right after the show. Cherry, what's up? Great to see you. Man, we got a good show tonight. Lots of great questions. Just went live with Instagram a few minutes ago. Got some great questions there. Shout out to Don and Steve, and just had a great time over there for a minute. I see they're there now. What's up? Roel's on all the different ones. I think he's on YouTube and Instagram. Roel, hello Instagram, Roel, and then hello YouTube, Roel. Great to see you. All right, Jenny from Greensboro. I love Greensboro. I love North Carolina in general. Evangelon, what's going on, man? Great to see you. Evangelon, I believe, is in Cali. I think. Did I have that wrong, Evangelon? Am I wrong? I could be completely wrong on that. But in my head, it's California. Stan, what's up? Great to see you. Pumped about the show today, guys. We're going to be doing this for the next hour, answering your questions here. Time traveler Karen's from Connecticut. We're in Connecticut. Have a couple friends from up there. Love Connecticut, actually. I was just in New York City a few weeks ago. Allison, what's up? Great to see you on this beautiful day. Grandma Mary, how are you? I love you. Kathy, what's up? Great to see you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out tonight. Really excited about the show. Great questions. If you guys are new here, if you have a question for Dr. Rogers, you can go ahead and put it in the comments. For those who are with us each week, you know the drill. We're going to get, oh, cool, Glastonbury. Very nice. Very cool. Want to say, had family. Grandma Mary lived in Darien for a little bit with my mom. I think it's Darien. I might have said that completely wrong. It starts with a D. All right, guys, we're going to get live here soon with questions. The One Queen, what's going on over on Instagram? Thanks for being here. Michelle over on Instagram, so good to see you. Love all my Oak Ridge family. Do we have any other Oak Ridge people in here? Riley, what's going on? So good to see you. So good to see you. I hope to see you soon. I hope you. Every time I'm in JC, I love getting to see you. Angie, what's going on over in Kingsport? Got to see you soon. I was correct. Okay, cool. Debbie, man, that's a great question. Great question around type 1. Thank you for that. D. Lynn saying hit the like button and share. I agree with her. I agree with D. Lynn on that one. All right, guys, we're Doc's getting ready to be in here. Real quick, I want to put this up because this could tee you guys up for some questions. A little teaser here. If you guys haven't seen it, the newest episode of Common Sense MD went up today. Can Viagra prevent Alzheimer's? There's been some really interesting recent studies around this, and man, this was honestly, it's about 11 minutes long. If you have not watched the whole thing, you need to watch the whole thing. It's well worth the 11 minutes, and really, really fascinating insight, things coming out. You guys know, we're huge believers in repurposing medications, and this is definitely one of those. Doc explains these studies, kind of where this is heading, but super exciting, especially for those, who have, have either had a family member suffer with Alzheimer's, or have it in your family in some way. I think it's a fear for so many of us. Emily, our esthetician in JC, what's going on, Emily? Great to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's see here. What was the other one? There we go. This was a fun episode. Shout out to Lucas Schmidt, our nutrition coach over in Johnson City. This was a fun one because he literally breaks down some of my favorite snacks / guilty pleasures, and kind of grades them A to F. Spoiler, a lot of them are Fs, but there's a couple that weren't as bad as I thought. So I hope you guys give that a watch, because it was fun to make, and Lucas does such a great job of going over these nutrition labels and explaining how to look at them. So there are some stuff that's not as bad as maybe you or I would have thought. Is Doc ready to roll? Cool. All right, let's rock it. What's going on, man?
Nothing. Your hair's getting long.
Your hair out. One is because I just have been lazy. So I don't know if I have a better answer. I wish it was.
I kind of like it.
Look, yeah, you like it?
Yeah, keep it.
I like it. You remember when you had kind of a military haircut recently?
Yeah, I did. I know.
You had it. Yeah, a very short haircut.
Yeah, that was the shortest haircut I've had since I was about 8 years old, probably.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back when my dad used to make us get burr haircuts. Yeah.
Hey,
before it was in style. It wasn't in style back then.
Before we get into it, we're going to take questions here shortly, because we're going to be as efficient as possible tonight. We want to get to every single question. So if you guys have a question for Doc, go ahead and put it in the comments. We're going to get to everyone. Viagra and Alzheimer's, what was that like, that realization? One, because in the episode you talk about the Viagra pharmaceutical reps, back in the day, and the Cialis ones.
Yeah, they were the most popular reps.
I bet. Do you think, is that like already a preventative measure, or is that something that's kind of?
Oh, we've been using like daily Cialis for years for prevention. This new study about Viagra reducing your chances of Alzheimer's greatly was, kind of shocking to most people. But, because we've used it for things like prostate enlargement, Raynaud's, circulation, not just ED. We use Cialis for altitude sickness. We use it for a lot of pulmonary hypertension. So yeah, it's not surprising that it does work for Alzheimer's, because Alzheimer's, however you may end up with a tau, the amyloid plaque, there's a circulation problem there. So not real surprising, but very hopeful. And I put a lot of people on daily Cialis. Every day I do that.
I watched that episode, and one, it was super encouraging. So thank you for making the episode. I hope you guys, if you haven't watched it yet, I hope you do.
Would you like me? It's super encouraging. Would you like me to write you a prescription for Viagra, Ben? Or?
No.
See, I finally got Ben tongue-tied. He doesn't know what to say now. See, Ben and Katie don't think I'm very funny, but see, I think I've got a funny bone that
I do.
Sometimes people laugh at, mostly older people, but your millennial generation, or what, the Generation X, they don't get my jokes. But
I will say you do have the gift of gab, and I think your humor is I'm catching on to it. I'm catching on to it, and I really appreciate it. Emily appreciates it. Like I thought that was a good
Okay.
joke.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Didn't mean to embarrass you. But
No,
anyway.
no. Are you ready to get into some questions?
Yeah. Let's get
We're
into
gonna
some questions.
let's rock this out, guys. If y'all have questions, I see Edna got a great question. Put it in there. Thank you so much. If you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments. Are we cutting out, Kathy? Guys, are we? How's our feed? Is our feed okay? Let us know. We can make adjustments, but I want to make sure you guys can hear us okay. Especially when Doc makes a great joke, and I want you guys to catch that.
It's rare.
All right, here we go. Let's go. Let's start with this one. It's a question around berberine. Is there a need to cycle berberine by taking a break every couple of months?
Not really. You'll read that. Occasionally I'll see that in some of the literature. For what reason, I don't know. You really don't seem to get tolerant to it. Like I tell people, you should take your supplements about 6 days out of the 7. To me, that's enough cycling of most vitamins. I mean, berberine's comparative to metformin, and you certainly don't want if you have diabetes or pre-diabetes, you wouldn't take a break from metformin. So, I mean, unless it's upsetting your stomach, and that's rare if you use a berberine, dihydroberberine that we prefer. So I don't see a really need for it, to be honest with you. It wouldn't hurt you, but berberine does not hurt your kidneys or your liver, so it's very safe, and you're not going to get real tolerant to it. So I don't think that that's necessary, really.
And I just for those, we've put out a bunch of content around berberine, and I do think if you have reached your weight loss goals and then you want to go into maintenance, I think what you're suggesting is going from 2 per day to 1 per day. If
Yeah.
you're okay.
Yep, that's what I usually recommend. Again, take your vitamins 6 days out of 7. And when you go on vacation, if you don't want to, don't take don't take all the vitamins that you do. That's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
So the essential ones I do, but like my multi, but I don't take a bunch of them with me.
Such a great question. Thank you for sending that in over on Instagram. This one was a wonderful question. One, because I take quite a bit of vitamin D as well. The question is, can 5,000 milligrams of vitamin D daily cause a high CT calcium score? Real quick, can you tell everybody what a CT calcium score is?
Well, that's just a CAT scan of your heart and lungs. It detects calcium plaque in your coronary arteries, or at least near them. But no, but that's one reason you should take D with K. I mean, just taking vitamin D alone is not going to cause a high CT calcium scoring. There's a combination of other reasons for that, but certainly if you take vitamin D, please take vitamin K2 with it. What that does is directs the vitamin D to bring the calcium into your bones, not your vessels. So, I mean, you'd have to take a whole lot of vitamin D and have a really high calcium level in your blood to cause a high CT calcium scoring. That takes years to do. So, no, I wouldn't blame it on that, but please take vitamin K2 with it. It's very, very important, very heart protective, and you just need to take K2 with it.
And is there I know you've heard I've heard you in the past say this is for take K2 with it if you're over 40 or over 35?
Over 30, I would.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly as an adult, you should do that.
All right. Thank you for that question there. I hope that helps. This one here, and I hope I put this in correctly. What are your suggestions for recovering from an aorta valve replacement and a triple bypass?
Yeah, wow, that's a double whammy. But the technology now with heart surgery is really good. So Suggestions are, again, you're going to be on a medication regimen for sure. You want to make sure that when you get like a Berkeley heart panel or a Cleveland heart panel, that your inflammatory markers are down. You want your ApoB low. You're probably going to have to take a statin. I'm sure you're taking one in that situation. I'm certainly not against it. I'm for it in that situation. You need to take D with K for sure. I don't even care if you're on a blood thinner. You still can take vitamin K too. Now, if you have an aortic valve replacement, it depends on whether you got a mechanical valve or a pig valve. If you have a mechanical valve, you're probably going to have to be taking Coumadin, warfarin. And if you do add vitamin K, D with K to that, you need to take a close look at your ProTimes, your blood tests that you get monthly to check what your bleeding times are on that. But so that could be the case for you. But make sure your blood pressure is good. Start exercising slowly. I guarantee you your cardiologist and cardiothoracic surgeon has you on a cardiac rehab program, which includes some moderate exercise. You got to really take it easy while you're recovering. You want to prevent blood clots, so move and get outside in the sunshine, walk around. But just like I would tell anybody to recover from any kind of surgery, to be honest with you, you should do well. You just got to really pay attention to more parameters than you would if you hadn't had that kind of cardiac surgery. Because, when they replace your coronary arteries and your valve, you could still suffer the same disease process. It just gives you a second chance. But if you're smoking, of course, don't smoke. I doubt you're going to be doing that after a bypass surgery. One of my friends had quadruple bypass, and that was what got him to quit smoking. So hopefully, just living a healthy lifestyle, I would take a good dose of the vitamins and just look at all your parameters, get a Cleveland panel or Berkeley heart panel. Make sure your gut is good, that you don't have a lot of inflammation in your body. Remember, inflammation causes heart disease, causes all diseases. So look at your inflammatory markers and stay hydrated. Don't overdo the exercise. Get some and do it slowly. It's going to take you a year to be back to better. You'll be better than you were before. If you had both those had to be done, you had to be short of breath and fatigued. So you'll feel better than you ever have, but it'll take months. So that's kind of what I would say.
Well, I hope that helps, and certainly our thoughts are with this listener, and please keep coming back with more questions. If there's any way we can help, we will. Thank you so much, Doc. Great answer there. Great question. Thank you so much for sending that in. All right, I just want to see here. Kelly, I see your question. Sherry, great question there. Jenny, I see you. Thank you guys. Kathy, great question. Kim, good evening to you, and hello to Anna Webb. So good to see you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out. We're getting ready to go to live questions. So if you have a question for Doc, go ahead and put it in the comments. This last one that came in throughout the week, let's see here. Okay. Would you suggest the same protocol for bird flu as you did for COVID? I know this is, I don't know if this is kind of a hot topic yet or not, but what's your thoughts on this?
You read a lot about it, the bird flu, which is an avian virus that gets into cows and thereby the milk supply. So they found a little bit of it. Some of it may be overhyped, but who knows? But yeah, my answer is probably I would. Again, there's a lot of unknowns, but certainly, we really ramped up the immune protocols to make sure your immune system's able to fight off viruses. And certainly, I probably would use pretty similar. To be honest with you, I probably would.
Okay. Let's see.
Let's just hope there's not all the panic and all that caused a lot of the problems before, shutdowns and all this stuff. But I hope, and there will be more pandemics. I just hope people have more common sense during the future ones.
It's a great question, and I really appreciate this coming through and letting us talk about it a little bit. I hope this helps. And Doc, great answer there. Thank you. I see Julie from our Johnson City office is in here. So good to see you, Julie. Can't wait to see you soon. Rhonda, I see your question. Lisa, I see your question. Man, we've already got some great questions come through. We're going to go to the live questions here, guys. If y'all have one, go ahead and put it in the comments. We're going to get to each one tonight. Appreciate you guys in advance. See Tina's on Instagram. Tina, what's up? Lisa, what's up? Tessa, hello. Great to see you guys. All right, let's jump into it, guys. We're going to go live comments and questions. Let's see where we at. Let's go to Debbie. It's Wednesday morning over there in Queensland. Debbie's asking, I'm type 1 diabetic and I'm experiencing some insulin resistance, particularly after breakfast. Can you suggest something to help with insulin resistance, please? I know you have thoughts on this.
Yeah, having 2 type 1 diabetic kids, certainly. It all starts with your diet, and I'm sure you've been a diabetic for a long time if you're type 1. But, sometimes metabolic changes happen. The longer you have diabetes and the older you get. I don't know how old you are, but certainly if you're approaching menopausal age, you need to look at your hormones. I think that comes into play. Remember, insulin is tied in with your cortisol and also your thyroid. I often draw a triangle of insulin, thyroid, cortisol because they talk to each other on a minute-by-minute basis. So one can affect the other. Like if you're really stressed, your cortisol levels are high, your insulin level, you're going to get insulin resistant. It's not going to work as well. Even, your insulin's coming from shots or pump. But look at your thyroid. If your cortisol is high, you're stressed out, you're not sleeping. If you have sleep apnea, then cortisol is high or even too low. It'll impair the conversion of T4 to T3, your active form of thyroid. So you're 63. So, what age did you come down with diabetes, Debbie? That'd be really interesting to me. How long you've had it. Again, sometimes you can check. I know my kids, sometimes they'll get a bad batch of insulin. And sometimes they'll switch out the forms of insulin that they take. And believe it or not, even though it's off label, my daughter Kelly, who's now 37, she has been a diabetic since age 9. And she's added a little bit of Ozempic to her regimen.
Yeah.
A lot of endocrinologists are even, it's off label, but that's something you may consider. Especially if you tend to be gaining a little weight, postmenopausal weight. But, it's a tough deal. Some people will even add a little berberine in there. It's kind of off label for type 1, but it's not going to hurt you. So you may want to change things up a little bit. You're probably on a pump. There's a lot of different types of insulin, Levemir, Lantus, and then which are long acting. You're probably on the pump, and follow a protocol where you have a baseline rate, and then you'll add based on how many carbs you're eating for that meal. So diagnosed 5 years ago. Interesting. So you're almost what we would call a type 1.5. So we used to call it juvenile diabetes. Now we call it type 1. But I've seen adults come down with type 1. We usually call them type 1.5 because sometimes they do put out some insulin, and you get insulin resistance. So it's type 1.5, meaning you have both types, type 1 and type 2. Not enough insulin. Type 1s have no insulin due to a virus, wiping out their pancreatic beta cells. But so you may look at all your hormone levels, check your cortisol, check your thyroid really closely, and see what, hopefully you're using a continuous glucose monitor. That seems to be as good as anything in controlling your sugars, especially as a type 1.5. It's really interesting.
So no
Okay, no,
insulin here.
so you probably had a C-peptide drawn and insulin levels, and they were nothing. So yeah, so try the different types of insulin. Hopefully you've got a good endo that's kind of managing your case. Look at your diet really closely. Look at your hormone levels, especially those that I mentioned. Look at your vitamin D level. Look at how your gut's reacting. If you're having if you're having gut problems, it's really hard to control your sugars, even though you're pumping insulin. So, but I hope that helps you. Look at your exercise patterns. Folks, it's tough being a type 1 diabetic.
Yeah.
I've lived with 2 type 1s virtually my whole adult life, having 2 kids with it. And, we keep hoping for a cure, and someday there will be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff that's on the horizon for this, but anyway, look at those things and good luck with it. If we can help you, keep us informed on how you're doing, what you're finding for that. And
Debbie, thank you so much for being here all the way from Queensland, and please keep coming back. Let us know how you're doing, and any questions like this, we're happy to answer. And I hope that was helpful. I'm going to put this up here, one, because it made me smile, and if I can find it, I'm going to put this up from Allison. So Ashley is family with Allison, and that's kind of one of my dreams, is that there's families gathered around the computer watching the show, and so I really appreciate you putting that in, Allison. And shout out to Ashley in North Carolina. Anyone else in here? Any families watching the show tonight? Any families out there watching? It's definitely a dream of mine. So let us know. Thank you, Allison.
Hope you're doing well, Allison.
Let's see where we're at. Let's go to Edna. Is a lot of soy in your diet bad for you? When I think of soy, I think the people I know who really stay away from it are, breast cancer survivors, or if there's breast cancer in the family. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, soy's in this country, it's bad for you. It's all GMO. Maybe if you live in Japan, it's not so bad, but yeah, I don't like soy here in America. It's too estrogenic. I just don't like it. Even some protein shakes use soy protein. I definitely don't like that. It's just too estrogenic. The phytoestrogens, we had some guests at our house over the weekend, which I hope they're not watching this. But anyway, we were cooking burgers out, good grass-fed beef that we use, and they were vegetarians, and they brought their own. What are the name of those burgers that they market? What's the name of them?
What is it? What are they called?
I don't even think they make them at Burger King and places like that.
They're like bean burgers.
They're not beans. No, they're actually soy burgers. I forget the name. You probably know if I mentioned it, but yeah, they were terrible looking. And I go, I'll cook your soy burgers if you want, but that's soy you're eating. So you'd be better off with the grass-fed beef. But again, I don't cut down vegetarians. I have some relatives that are vegetarians, and my dad's family were all Seventh-day Adventists.
Is this at their
Most
Impossible?
of those Impossible Burger, yeah, that's right. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but those are basically soy burgers. But so I don't like soy personally. But so I don't like to. There's a lot of healthy vegetarians.
Yeah,
there really are. I mean, one of the blue zones is Loma Linda, California.
So Edna is a vegetarian, so she's coming at it from that.
Yeah, well, thank you for pointing that out. I just don't like it, and I just don't like those Impossible Burgers. And if you read some of the ramifications of eating them, and it's kind of probably more unhealthy than a grass-fed burger. But I certainly understand being a vegetarian, and there's some advantage of it. I tried to do it many years ago. After I read this book, it got me feeling guilty about, eating meat and all. But I just think, I'm really, I like fish better than anything. I love fish. I eat salmon probably 3 times a week. Wild caught salmon. So, but yeah, don't take it as I don't like vegetarians, because I do, and I like vegans too. My brother's one. But you can take it too far. He won't even eat honey, but anyway, because it comes from an animal. But I don't see that. But there's advantages and disadvantages. I just don't like the soy. So you might switch over to something a little different.
So trying to stay away from soy. It seems Amy Lee has had some success stopping soy. Thank you for putting this in here, Amy Lee. I'm going to put this up from Raul. Saw huge results when eliminated soybean oil from my diet. We don't carry it in the house anymore. It's kind of a good rule of thumb to stay away from.
This is good. I love the feedback.
Yeah.
And again, there's pros and cons to it. Certainly is, but and everybody's different. Everybody's metabolism is different. But if you're a vegan or vegetarian, make sure you get enough protein, because plant proteins is not as absorbable as animal proteins, and definitely you need some vitamins. Definitely take the super multi, because you're gonna need some methylated B vitamins in there as well. So.
Great stuff, guys. Thank y'all so much for the feedback. I love it when you guys tell us what's working for you in particular around a topic we're discussing. So thank you, Raul. Thank you, Edna, for that question. Amy Lee, appreciate you guys, and keep it coming tonight. We're going to hopefully make this as valuable as possible to you guys, get the most out of this hour here. I'm going to get to where are we at? Lost my spot here. Sorry, guys. Okay, we're at Edna. Let's get to Kathy here on Facebook. What is the best thing to do for joint pain? I'm on chemotherapy, so this is a side effect, but not sure what the best thing to take is. Well, Kathy, we're thinking about you. Thank you for putting this question in here. Doc, what's your thoughts on this for Kathy?
Yeah, I hope you do well, and you're doing well. That is a side effect of chemo. A lot of times chemo will leave you with neuropathy in your legs and feet as well. And there's different things for neuropathy. Certainly, Neurontin, gabapentin works really well for it. But for joint pain, I usually think of more inflammatory arthritis. And I like turmeric, curcumin, same thing. I like MSM. I like a really good, again, I would get on a ketogenic diet. You'd be amazed when you go on that, how your joints will quit hurting. It's not easy, but definitely you got 2 benefits there. One's for your joints, one's for your cancer. So definitely look at your diet really closely. Your sugar is just terrible for joints as well as cancer. But I'm working on a joint formula right now. I've been working for 2 years on this. I'm going to put together, matter of fact, I have a meeting tomorrow about it with my pharmacist in Portland, Oregon by Skype. But I'm putting together a formula that I think is going to be really, really good for joint pain. Because really, people that come to see me, they're old like me. We all have some arthritis in our joints and inflammatory changes. So that I'd first look at my diet. I'd get on a keto diet. I'd certainly get on turmeric, and I'd probably take some CBD as well. And both those are anti-cancer. But if there's anything else we can add, let us know.
Kathy, thank you for putting that in there. If there's anybody in the comments who's seen some success getting rid of joint pain with something, whether that's turmeric, something that Doc mentioned, let us know for Kathy here.
Boswellia, black pepper. I mean, there's all kinds of things. I'm going to put all this stuff in my joint formula, along with probably the secret ingredient, which I can't tell you about yet because I don't know if I can get it. But it'll be safe no matter what.
All right. Thank you, Kathy. Let's keep going here. Let's go back to YouTube from Jenny. Okay, cool. This is a vitamin D question. I take vitamin D and K2 and usually have a vitamin D score of 110 to 120. Is that too much?
Yeah, I would lower it just a little bit. I really would. 100's fine, but anything over 100, if you're predisposed to getting kidney stones, you could precipitate some kidney stones. So yeah, I'd cut back a little bit. Well, maybe, a couple thousand units on the D. Keep taking the K2, of course. But great comment.
Thank you, Jenny, for that one, because very, very rarely do I hear docs say the vitamin D level's too high. So thank you for putting this in here and letting
occasionally you will see that.
Yeah.
And again, it'd take a long time to probably cause a problem, but you might as well have it a little bit lower.
All right. Thank you, Jenny, for that question. We're going to go back to Facebook here and Instagram. If you guys have a question, I see Jen's in here. So good to see you, Jen. If you have a question for Doc, go ahead and put it in the comments on Instagram. I'll be sure to look over at those as well. Let's see. This is from Sherry. Sherry's asking, CT calcium score, I'm assuming, shows I have a tumor on the adrenal gland or a CAT scan. I could be wrong on this. CT shows I have a tumor on the adrenal gland. I do the hormone replacement pellets due to total hysterectomy. Should I be concerned?
Well, it's not the pellets or hormones causing that, but you need to find out, what ramifications, what that is, what kind of tumor it is. Sometimes you'll have an adrenal gland tumor that will cause too much cortisol, too much epinephrine, which is adrenaline, and you certainly need to find that out. I know my brother, who was a general surgeon, my dad too, they took out quite a few adrenal tumors. It can affect your blood pressure, a lot of things. So find out what it is. Look at all your blood markers, including calcium and everything else, but find out what it is. But again, the pellets aren't going to affect that.
All right, Sherry, I hope that helps. Let's go to Kelly with a Y on Facebook. What do you recommend for vertigo? I was in the ER last night and they gave me Valium on Danstratron and Meclizine. Well, shoot, Kelly, I hope you're okay. What's your thoughts here for Kelly around vertigo?
Yeah, it depends on, they hit you with everything they could, I guess, but the Valium calms your inner ear down. The Zofran is for nausea, and Meclizine is also it's an antihistamine, but it helps dizziness. It's called Anavert. But yeah, it just depends on what caused it. Sometimes a viral labyrinthitis can cause it. Virus hits you, and it can last anywhere from 1 day to weeks. Sometimes it's benign positional vertigo. So there's tests you can do for that. You can see an ENT doctor for to see if you have nystagmus and positional vertigo. Like if you change position suddenly and it's like your head swimming around, that's probably positional vertigo, which is treated by a series of maneuvers that called Epley maneuvers that will clear it up quickly. We have to have it done more than once. But if you go to an ENT, even Ernie Dixon, a lot of physical therapists do these maneuvers. Bring somebody with you afterwards because somebody needs to drive you home. But just you need to determine what it is. If it's associated with anything else like hearing loss, ringing in the ears, it could be Meniere's disease. I bet they gave you a workup for it in the ER. It probably scanned your head. But there's plenty of good treatments. Those are certainly very common medicines that we use for that. BPV, yeah. BPV, benign positional vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
You put an extra P in there. But yeah, well, you need to see an ENT doctor or Ernie Dixon if you live in this area. Ernie is our physical therapist that works in the Kingsport office, and he can fix you. I had vertigo 1 day. It was awful.
It really does, man.
Hated it. I was throwing up, but it just lasted 1 day. but it's really, sometimes it's hard to calm that down a lot. I don't know if you're one that gets car sick a lot, if you're in the back seat, or seasick, but some people have a really sensitive inner ear. And as you get older, a lot of times those salt crystals fall down into that fluid in your inner ear and kind of messes things up a little bit. So it throws your balance off, and it's terrible. It's usually not too serious, but it just makes you feel like you want to die. I mean,
Yeah.
you won't. But so see an ENT doc or physical therapist that does the Epley maneuvers to get better quick.
Kelly, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, especially after such a terrible last night. So thank you for being
And reduce your salt intake for right now too.
Great answer there, Doc. Thank you for that. Let's get to Lisa. Lisa shares the broadcast as always. Thank you so much, Lisa, for that. I have my muscle biopsies. The past report says moderate active chronic neurogenic changes and type 2 myofiber atrophy. I still don't know what that means. Neurologist wants me to go to Vandy for second opinion and to research as to why my CK level goes up to 898 sometimes, then down to the 400s. Do you think Vandy is warranted? She's beginning to think not. Please advise. Update. She's down 122 pounds. That's incredible, Lisa. What's your thoughts on that?
You must be hurting a lot with a high CK level that high. I don't treat that kind of myofiber atrophy. That's something that you need to go to somebody who's seen a lot of it, and you're probably going to have to go to a university center like Duke or Vandy or UVA or somewhere like that, maybe even Cleveland Clinic, Mayo. But especially if your rheumatologist or neurologist, whoever did the biopsy, is equivocal about what the diagnosis is, because a lot of times you'll go to some, a super specialist like that's all they deal with, and they'll say, you really don't have that anyway. It's not type 2, it's something else. So it's probably some autoimmune phenomena. But the neurogenic changes, I'm not sure what happens with that. Again, if you've been on semaglutide or any of the GLP-1 agonists, they can cause a little muscle loss. I don't hear that kind of thing going on with that. I have heard one case of a person that was on it that had kind of a neurogenic type sensitive skin. Their skin was very sensitive to touch, and that was probably due to semaglutide. There's been a couple of case reports, because I looked it up, and there's been a couple of case reports of it. When she stopped it, it got better. So look at that. I'm certainly, if it's not getting better, you probably need to go to somebody who does a lot of this stuff for a second opinion. I'm never against a second opinion.
Lisa, I hope that helps. We're certainly thinking about you, and please keep us posted with how you're doing. But thank you so much for putting in that question. Let's get to YouTube here from One Step Forward. So good to see you. Thank you. Cleveland Heart shows a F2 isoproatans, ADMA/SDMA, and a misoperoxidase test for inflammation on Cleveland Heart panel that is not drawn. Can we have these tested through PM? Man, I hope I didn't mispronounce some of those words.
Yeah, those are inflammatory markers that, certainly it's a myeloperoxidase on there. And you could even get a Berkeley, but you can certainly get those done. The Boston had the F2 isoprotans again, but I think the Cleveland gives a pretty good idea of arterial inflammation that we can do. So you should definitely get a little bit more detailed information and see where you're at. It'd be interesting to see what else is going on with. Hopefully you've had a CT calcium scoring and that type thing. But we could probably help you. Again, it's a Quest lab, and they'll check about anything on that you want.
All right,
But
one
yeah,
step forward. Thank you for putting that in. I hope that helps a little bit. Let's get to Rhonda here on Facebook. Which supplements lower cortisol, stress levels?
yeah, that's a great question. My favorites are um, ashwagandha, rhodiola, saffron, L-theanine, ginseng. Um, even sometimes cordyceps. Some of the mushrooms will do it. Um, I think CBD does it as well. Um, So, and when you check your cortisol, try to do a 4-point salivary cortisol curve. Check and see not only just a blood level, which is on the Cleveland, but check a 4-point salivary curve. That's when you spit into this little tube at 8, 12, 5, and 10 to see what it does at different times during the day, because that's important. But those adaptogens are really good. Actually, they'll help it. If it's low, go higher. If it's high, go lower. So those are what we call adrenal adaptogens that I just mentioned. Stay away from the glandulars. You don't need them. But I hope that helps. Try those. But my stress formula has 3 of those in it. So I put a lot of people on my stress formula that I combine 3 of those in there.
Thank you,
People
Rhonda,
like
for putting that in there. Such a great question. I'm going to put this up just because, one, this just makes me smile. Kelly's watching as a family around the dinner table. Shout out to the Evans. We love you guys. I hope
I
you
love the
guys
way you spell your name, Kelly. That's
Yeah,
because that's how we spell our Kelly's name. So
I love it.
my
Kelly, thank you
type
so
1
much.
diabetic daughter that we were talking about a minute ago. But yeah, have a nice dinner.
Yeah, thank
Enjoy
you
this
so much for
beautiful
being
weather.
with us tonight, and huge shout out to your family. Let's keep moving here. Let's go to D-Lynn. D-Lynn, thank you for being here as always. Is there something out there for rosacea besides that very expensive cream that's prescription only? Great
Yeah,
question.
Metrogel, which is Flagyl cream, which does help. Sometimes I'll put people on an oral doxycycline for periods of time, trying to find the trigger for rosacea. There's certain triggers that can precipitate it, including some of the things in food. Certainly, alcohol can do it. Some of the good treatments that my daughter Kelly, that we were just talking about, does with lasers really helps too. We put some people on LDN for rosacea.
Mm.
But Andy has some pretty good experience with rosacea and has some pretty good home remedies for it, I think. But try to figure out what triggers your rosacea. Consider, if it's really severe, taking a round of Doxy, and then because the Metrogel creams are very expensive for some reason. And then consider getting the laser treatments.
And D-Lynn, what I'll do also is I'll kind of make a note for this for when Andy's next on the show for him to talk about it. Because one, I know he has a particular regimen I think he's on himself. So I'd be interested to see what he's doing. And he's passionate around this topic. So thank you, D-Lynn, for putting this in. I'll make sure when he's on that we talk a little bit about that and give another perspective there. All right, let's keep going here. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us this Tuesday evening. I'm looking for my questions here. Let's get to Velma. Thank you, Velma. What doc do you recommend for a pinched nerve in neck and shoulder?
Well, assuming you've already had the images taken to see if you have a ruptured disc in your neck or maybe an impingement in your shoulder, which are the 2 probably most common things that would cause that type of thing, you begin to worry if you're having shooting pains all the way down your arm, or numbness, or motor dysfunction. Then you really need to get those imaging studies to see how bad it is. But if it's just a run-of-the-mill, nothing bad pinched nerve, I like physical therapy. I know Ernie in our office does a great job with kind of manipulating your neck and shoulder, and he'll find out where it's coming from, which dermatome is coming from. But so if it's not severe, see a physical therapist and see, if they can kind of isolate it down. It's probably an impingement syndrome, but I always like B6 for neuropathy. Don't take over 100 milligrams of it. I like turmeric, curcumin. I'm not against you for a short period of time taking a dose pack of prednisone. We do that a lot if it just won't calm down. Really works. It just depends on how severe it is. You can always take nonsteroidal anti-inflammatories for a period of time as well. But that should be a problem that should be correctable.
Velma, thank you so much for being here. I see Anna's in here over on Instagram. Anna's getting ready to be competing in the Tri-Cities Dancing with the Stars. Cannot wait to hang out with you guys. And
I got a funny feeling she's going to win it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
A funny feeling that she can move. I think she can. At least that's what Andy said.
That's right. That's right. Andy knows. I see Amy.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be there for sure.
Health and Beauty MP.
I saw a patient today. She wouldn't mind me saying this. Donna Lampkins was in the office today. She is amazing. She just turned 65.
It's amazing.
She looks sensational for 60 in her 60s. She won this Dancing with the Stars.
She did.
The year before Andy won it. Yeah,
she did. She
did.
did.
And next year, if Anna wins it, we'll have a lot of people we know that actually won it.
I love it.
And Dr. Reddy won it as well.
Yeah, that's right.
GI doc in Johnson City.
That's right.
That's always a lot of fun.
I see Shelby's in here. Shelby, so good to see you. Thank you for hanging out as always.
Ben, did you know I was asked to be on Dancing with the Stars one year?
Thank God you said no. If you said
turned it down. I know. Thank goodness I turned it down.
Although that would be awesome. I honestly, I would love to see it. I'd be your biggest cheerleader. I really would.
Well, I didn't get Andy's gift for dancing or singing, either one. But as you can see, I'm a guitar player.
That's right. You're the musician of the family. I see mom's cringing there in the green room.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to Ann here. Ann, thank you for being with us. What kind of protein do you recommend for weight gain?
I like meats. I really think unless you're a vegetarian, like we talked about before, I like meats and eggs. A lot of people do whey protein. I don't like casein, the milk based. I don't tend to like that much because of the dairy in it. It's not real digestible. I really like Perfect Aminos is a great way to start your day, along with the creatine. I really like creatine that has HMB in it, hydroxymethylbutyrate, that I put in my creatine formula that we make. So it's not easy to get enough protein in. What was the type of protein you got for me for my birthday last year at Eddie's Health Shop? Forget what
was that
brand, but it was really good.
Yeah, I'll have to. Are you out of it?
No, I still have some. Maybe Jenny can run up and get it. That protein powder I have in my right beside my creatine up in the cupboard. It tastes pretty good, and it's good. If you need a powder type thing, if you can't get enough in with your diet, which is hard. I mean, it's hard to get enough protein, and again, remember, you need to build muscle. You need to lift some weights.
Ann, thank you so much. And we'll get this protein down that we love Eddie's Health Shop over in Knoxville, and I'm sure you can find it online as well. Let's get to a couple questions while we're waiting for that. Kathy's asking, is there any help for tinnitus with long COVID? It's funny, I know plenty of people who've had it. It's not a fun one. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah. You need to kind of step outside the box and do some things that may work. LDN is my favorite, low dose naltrexone. And I mean, they're still, if it's severe, they're doing some kind of nerve blocks as well. But I love LDN for that. Tinnitus is a toughie. I mean, it's hard. It's going to go away at some point, most likely. Some people have to mask it with a hearing aid. I know Jenny. Thank you. You still have tinnitus? You still got it. Anything helped you?
Nothing.
No, she says nothing. She's had it for years due to music, probably. Okay, here's a few of my regimens here. So, man, I wish I could help you with that more than I am, but get your ears checked and your hearing checked for sure.
Kathy, thank you. I hope that helps a little bit. We'll
try low-dose naltrexone. That'd be my first choice for you.
LDN.
Of course, I put a little D-ribose. You know, that's not a protein, but hey, Jenny, I need that big box of protein in there. That big, you didn't bring it down. It's in the big black jar. Real big protein. It's in that cupboard. So now, of course, I like my collagen peptides. You know, I mix that in my coffee. It's got a little MCT in there as well. It's grass fed. It's perfect keto, so it won't bump your sugars up a little bit. And I like my performance creatine with HMB. Of course, perfect aminos are great. That's about 30 grams. But yeah, here's my protein powder that I use sometimes. It's called, I'll take a picture of that. It's got 24 grams of protein, no whey. That's the reason I like it. I really don't like whey protein as much either. That's what most people take.
Whole food protein. So
yeah.
How many grams? 24 grams in a serving?
24 grams of protein, and there's no whey in it. A lot of people don't utilize whey.
And no added sugar too. Like that's a big deal. A lot of these protein shakes do have a ton of sugar.
Yeah. I love this stuff. Tastes good too.
What flavor did I get you? Was it like cobbler?
Blueberry. Yeah, blueberry cobbler, yeah.
I love it.
What makes it different is it's whole food protein. It has beef in it and, some pea protein, chicken protein, egg albumin, salmon protein. No wonder this is so great. I love this.
I see Denise is in here. Denise, what's going on? It's so good to see you. Thank you for being patient with me.
It also has MCT on it as well.
Can't wait to see you.
This is really good stuff. Take a picture of that if she wants to.
Screenshot that, guys. If you're interested, that's his favorite. I'm gonna remember that. Just so because we do get a lot of questions around that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going here. I want to get to Vicky's question. My CT report had a reference to old granulomatous disease is noted.
Granulomatous.
Please explain this for Vicky.
Well, good news is it doesn't mean anything. Anybody that, that's my age, of course, has a little bit of granulomatous disease. It's usually just due to inhaling different things during your life that are bacteria and fungus and aspergillus, things like that are benign in 99% of the cases. So that's just an incidental finding, to be honest with you. Notice it says old granulomatous disease, just kind of like scar tissue from the hazards of living in an industrialized world. Even you get that on farms as well. But so in other words, not to worry. Doesn't mean anything.
Vicki, thank you for that. I see Mark's in here. I'm going to get to Mark real quick. Thank you, Mark, for being in here as always. Tinnitus GI map test. Interesting. Gut microbiota dysbiosis can lead to tinnitus via the alteration of neurotransmitter production. When there is a neuroinflammatory response, tinnitus may be among the results. Okay, is this a question or a comment there, Mark? Did I read that right? When there is a neuro. Did I read that right?
Looks like a comment. I think he's commenting.
That's a comment.
Yeah, I mean, certainly some people think that tinnitus is due to a neurotransmitter foul up, which it may be. It's kind of hard to prove.
Yeah.
You can certainly, if you have some gut problems, always do a GI map and see if you've got some gut dysbiosis for sure. But yeah, I mean, anything, again, there's that gut brain connection. and via the vagal nerve. So certainly could be a confounder with this. So that's a good little comment.
Mark, thank you so much for that, as always, man. I'm gonna put this up from Angie. I love you, Angie. Does your protein powder have artificial sugar? So does the MRE have artificial sugar in it, like a stevia?
Hey, Jenny, can you bring that back over here? She stole it from me. She's over there drinking it right now. No, the big one. I'll see what kind of it has to have some kind of flavoring because it tastes pretty good.
Yeah, it does taste good.
And I don't mind a little bit of, I guarantee it doesn't have sugar in it.
Thank you, Angie, for asking. It's a great question. I see you guys on Instagram. Thank you guys for being with us.
It does have a little bit of sucralose in there.
How much sucralose?
But it also has cinnamon, and it has coconut. But that's, I wish they'd put stevia in there instead of that, but that's a good question. I'm glad you asked me that. So
sucralose is the one you don't like?
Well, it's not the worst one, but I certainly not real fond of it. Splenda is what that is. I prefer stevia or monk fruit. But
well, Angie, we thought we had the perfect protein powder.
I know. Angie just blew our bubble here. Thanks a lot, Angie. Now I'm not sure if I want to drink it.
Now we're going to throw it away after the show.
And you're the one that bought it for me too. Remember
that was my birthday gift.
Thanks a lot, Ben.
Angie, I love you. Thank you for that. Thank you for putting that in there. Excuse me. All right, guys, this has been an absolute, Angie, I love you.
Don't worry about it. Thank you. I'm glad, really, unless you read labels, intently, you don't know, you're not sure.
No.
I mean, again, I'm not really too worried about a little bit of that, but still, I wish they'd put something in there. You'd think they would, but.
So I guess we got to do this. So Carter, you're spot on. We got to wait for Saladino's protein powder to come out. Maybe it won't have the sucralose. That's awesome.
Saladino loves the fresh fruit along with his carnivore diet. But,
guys, I think we have done it. I think we got through all the questions. I see Tracy's in here. Tracy, good evening to you. Thank you for being with us. Let's see if I missed anybody. Lisa, what's going on? Great to see you. I love you all. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us this evening. To all the families, I know Stan's listening with Cherry. Thank you guys. It really is a kind of a dream of mine. In my head, you guys are all around a computer or a TV watching and hanging out, asking questions.
We're all just one big family, right, Ben? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. That's exactly right. I love this from my brother Steve. Sucralose is hard. This is true.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like it.
Thank you so much. See, Roel's got Liver King protein powder is awesome. Okay, cool. Super cool. Thank you for that. All right, let's get are the dogs gonna close us out?
Izzy, come here. Yeah, we'll get the dogs on here. I know everybody wants to get outside and take a walk. I'm going to ride my bike again. I've already ridden it once.
Thank you, Lisa. Fruit and organs. That's right, Carter. That's right. Thank you, Cherry.
Can you sing?
Yeah, that's Ike right there. Thank you, D-Lan. D-Lan, I'm going to make a note of the question around rosacea. And when Andy gets on here next, we'll talk about that. Ike, what's going on, man?
Let's get Izzy up here. All right. Izzy, your turn. Your turn to get on in the spotlight.
Is it Izzy?
It's Izzy. Yeah.
For those of you who are new, Izzy and I close out the show for us. We do this every Tuesday, 7 to 8, answer your health and wellness questions. And there Izzy is right there looking right at the camera.
She's eating my earpiece. Good night, Ben.
Pop, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Love you. Guys, love you all. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, 7 to 8, answering your health and wellness questions. To everyone on our team, I love you. Thank you guys so much for being with us tonight. Goodness, Carter's in. So Carter, Emily was in here. We had Angie. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Shelby's in here. Riley, love you guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. We're out of here. Let's call it a week. We'll see you guys next week, Tuesday. Thank you, Evangelon. We appreciate you, man. Where's my outro? We'll be back next Tuesday, 7 to 8. Stay tuned for all the videos going up on YouTube. They'll go up Tuesday, a week from today. And here we are. See ya.
Don't go away.